Good evening, guys. That's right. Sorry, that's right. Good evening, guys. Tonight, I'm going to be reviewing a couple of horror films that I've seen recently. One being Hereditary, and the other one being Conjuring 2. So, I'll get to the Conjuring 2 in a minute. First up is Hereditary. Now I know quite a lot of these films are quite. I wouldn't say old films, like the recent films, but they're both horror films that have quite the impact of resonation as of late. Because you get a lot of horror films like that are churned out one by one that aren't that particularly scary. You're like, no, that wasn't worth the price of admission. But okay, let's start with Hereditary. This film is a genuine shocker. Brilliantly acted. Of the cast of Toni Collette and Gabrielle Byrne, to name a few. This one, I gotta be honest. There's not many horror films like that make me feel a bit ooh like that, and I'm glad because that's what I find is the challenge. I want to watch a horror film to actually feel a little bit of fear, not in me, a lot, rather than just sitting there thinking, there are some horror films like that are so where they try to be so scary that half the time I end up laughing the silliness of it. But this film has some generally terrifying moments. I'm not going to reveal too much. But the basic plot line is that it starts off with a family funeral. The mother of Toni Collette's character passes away. They attend the funeral, and it turns out that the grandmother was a bit of an odd and difficult character throughout their lives. And basically, from her death, weird, strange things begin to happen to the remaining members of her family, and it basically takes toll on all of them. There are some scenes that are generally shocking. I'm not going to reveal too much because the point of these videos and points of these reviews is you go and watch them yourself. I'm here for recommendations, and that is one of them. There's going to be a few people that have seen this already. It's not it's not a new film. So if anybody wants to discuss these with me, please do please leave a comment below. I really want some comments to start coming in for these videos because it'll be really good to get responses and that. I'll be happy with that. But yeah, when I say this film is generally terrifying, it really is. I say, on average, let's say there's 20 horror films that come out of each year. I know there's many more than that, but let's say there's 20. Around about maybe 2 or 3 of them give out genuine scares throughout the year, and that's not a lot. That's 10-15% maybe. But these are the ones that make you really sit on edge, and it's wonderfully crafted. And I'm really surprised it's it was ignored not only by the Oscar committee, but most of the the awards. Horror films deserve recognition too. I mean, it's last year, with Get Out. Get Out was a revelation. Get Out was a fantastic film. Horror or not, lots of Hereditary. Not only is it a horror film, I find it's a really good example of human emotion, basically. So that's worth watching, like Catherine said. So it's time for my rating. What am I gonna give it? I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. Solid cast. Good cinematography. Genuine scares, and overall, it kept you guessing what's going to happen next. Another thing that I find on horror films, like they're all way too predictable. Like this one did keep you guessing to find out what's going to be happening. So yeah, I give Hereditary 4 stars out of 5. Okay, like moving on, like to my second film, The Conjuring 2. I first saw like the first Conjuring film like when it came out at cinemas about 6 years ago now. No, sorry, like 5, 6 years ago. Yeah, no, 6 years, like 6 years. And 3 years ago, like the sequel came out, like, and I've only like just like watched. I mean, I remember like watching the first 20 minutes of it a few months ago and wanted to go back to it. But with a lot of films and things that like I find on TV, as I say, I'll put it on my list of things I'm never going to get to watch. But yeah, the Conjuring 2. It's not often you get a film that's better than the original, let alone a horror film. But The Conjuring 2, I have to say, is head and shoulders above the first one. Not to say like the first one like wasn't good. Like the first one was really good. As a matter of fact, like, I'd say the first one, along with Insidious, are sort of like responsible for these wave of more, I'd say, more intelligent, supernaturally horror films. So you know, like with Insidious and the first Conjuring was sort of like the start of it, not carrying on. And that's this second one, yeah, I'd actually say it's better than the first one. The runtime, surprisingly, like much like Hereditary, it's over 2 hours long. Like most horror films, like I tend to squeeze in about like the 80, like a 90-minute mark. But the fact that this one here was over 2 hours long, like it does surprise me. But it certainly didn't feel like it. So you got Vera Farmiga and was it Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, and like returning like from like the first one, and like who played like Ed and Anne, like Warren. Always important like for sequels, like if you can get like most of the cast back, like especially like the main like of people, like so the fact that they've done that is brilliant. Patrick Wilson and Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, two like brilliant like actors and actresses there. I've been a big fan of Patrick Wilson, like a lot of his films, like Aquaman, Watchmen, Hard Candy, lot the A-Team, and Vera Farmiga. She was fantastic, like in a horror film like a few years back. Orphan, brilliant actress. So whereas like the first Conjuring like was set like in America, they've brought it over the pond here like to a 1970s England. And what I thought like was really brilliant about that was like the fact that they sort of the style lot of it, to make it as authentic as possible, sort of like it was set in the 70s, and it really was like made to feel it was like the 70s, like because like they could have easily said, yeah, yeah, it's 1970s, but we're going like to dress like everybody like in like hoodies and baseball caps, like because like it's still land and town. But no, the fact that like they've kept their guns and made the period piece is fantastic. Also, generally terrifying, like in certain scenes as well. Really good. Like so, like because of the success of the Conjuring films, like they have spawned like their own like universe. Which seems to be like the way of modern films like these days. You've got like the Marvel like universe, the DC like universe. Of course, Universal's failed Dark Universe, like which has like stagnated like at the moment. The good sides to these Conjuring universe. The good side is that you've got the Conjuring films, which are fantastic, and then there's the other part. So with the Annabelle and the Nun, which is part of the Conjuring universe. No, not so much. I'd happily like welcome like a third Conjuring film. I I can see that being possible. Like, if even like if they decided to go down the route of like a prequel, you know, like The Conjuring, the beginning. Yeah, and that's basically like set like 1970s England. Once again, like another family like that's dealt with a possession and haunting, but a family set like in England. You know, like a lot of cynical people will say, oh well, like The Conjuring 2 is pretty much like The Conjuring 1, like I said, like in England. This one dives more into the family and to the like the Warrens. What I think is fantastic about this is that sort of like it's a multi-layered film. Like, it's sort of like you sort of got two plot storylines. Like, so you've got like the family, like in England, that's being haunted by this possession. You know, like the house like they live in. The previous tenant basically wasn't a happy person. Wants them out of the house and will stop at nothing until like he gets like his way. And of course, like the other side of the stories, like you've got like the Warrens, their years of hunting of paranormal investigations have left them all a bit battered and weary. It's taken like their toll on them, like mentally and physically, like, so it's sort of like how they're coping, like with this, like their line of work. So more or less, like with that, like they could have just decided to just stick with the family, with the possession, or they could have just gone off completely and said, yeah, we're gonna stick with like the Warrens and how like they cope with life. And that's the fact that they've managed to churn out two really good storyline arcs into one film. Not only like it's very good, it's very rare. Like they keep it consistent. Like, because sometimes like when they do that with certain films, one story seems to overlap and then it falls away and you're left thinking, oh god, like I really wish they would just stick with one story. But the fact that they went like with two stories and kept it consistent is really good. So overall, yeah, once again, I tell you what, I'm gonna be bold, like, and I'm gonna say, like, I'm gonna give the Conjuring 2 5 stars. Yeah, like there you have it, 5 stars. Love The Conjuring. Really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, there's my opinion on that. So there's my two film reviews. Like, it's been a while, like, since I've done that. Yeah, so like, if anybody would like to leave like some comments below, please do. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. Like, hope you all have like a very lovely good evening. And I shall be back soon with another video. Thank you very much, and good night.